So there is a lab which you need to follow exactly the step by step to show you how the installation is done of the Jenkins. Okay. Um, it is a pretty straightforward lab. So I'm not going to get into the installation of Jenkins. It's going to change the network. So I'm in office. This time it doesn't work. So I hope everybody has. So what I'll do is I'm going to upload a CentOS with a clone for your work. So I'm going to upload this image. Use this image on the virtual box. Okay, which will be very helpful. I'm going to do that after this call. So I'm using a CentOS image. Okay, you could run Jenkins even on Windows machine, absolutely no problem. Okay, you can run it on Linux machine as well, preferably on a Linux because we feel the features are almost the same, but much more comfortable on Linux machine. So I have an IP address now, 10.0.2.8 colon 8080. Should come up if all goes well. So make sure you have internet access while installing Jenkins, because it's just follow the commands which I've given you on the portal. So after that, there's a lab manual as well, which you need to finish. Okay, I've created a username and a password. So while installing, it will give you a temporary username. The only thing which you need to do is log into your machines, or if you're doing it on a Windows, you just need to make sure you go to that file, take the password and enter it for the first time. Okay, and then when it will ask you to create a username, okay, you just need to give a username, password, and you would be able to log in with that. So and how do you log in? How do you get this page? This is nothing but your IP address of your machine which you have installed. So what is this? If people don't understand, this is my virtual box on my laptop. I have created a virtual machine. Okay, for you to understand what is this. This is a virtual box. You need to install the virtual box. I'm going to put that software also in the Google Drive. I think it's already there. You need to download that, and also download the image which you're going to boot up, which is a CentOS ready image. It's a plain simple CentOS ready image. You need to have internet access, and also make sure you select in the network bridge adapter only. Okay, you need to select this bridge adapter to make things going. Okay, so this is how you get a Jenkins page, right? And if you see, there is a project which has been there, and it's been executing continuously. You see that? It's been executing continuously as per the instruction. Okay, so it might have been scheduled to do that. So a couple of things which you need to understand here is manage Jenkins is the first thing which you need to get in. Okay, under manage Jenkins you have something called configure global security, which is one of the most important configuration. Okay, so here what you configure is you say you can either use your own database or you can integrate this Jenkins completely to a centralized authentication system which is already there in your company. So every company is going to have their own centralized authentication, like your Active Directory, right? So you could integrate it with that. And here you can say either the authentication has to be logged in, users can do anything, or you want to do anybody can do anything. Okay. So you could set up these things. These are the two important things, and then there are other things which is more of an advanced configuration. As you get into deeper of Jenkins, you will do that. Okay. The next thing which you need to understand in manage Jenkins is plugins. If you see now installed plugins, there are certain things which are already installed. Say for example, you see this AWS, this I installed in the previous class. Okay. Apart from that, you can see Git. You see there is a Git plugin. Maybe AWS. In AWS, I have only these two which is installed. Okay. You can also go to click on available to see what are the available plugins which you want to install. Say for example, AWS. You see this? In AWS, you have all these things. You have other things, EC2 instance, batch file, code pipeline, bucket credentials. All those things are available for as a plugin to talk to AWS. You can just select that and say download and install after restart. So it needs an internet access. Remember, this machine needs an internet access if you want to do a update of this plugins. So this is how you install a plugin. Okay. The next thing is the system information, which will give you a complete system information. System log, all your loggings of Jenkins is stored here. Load statistics. Okay, if at all you want to see what is the current load on the Jenkins itself, right? Jenkins CLI, what and all you can do in GUI, all those things you can run it via the CLI. There's a way to do it. You need to download this Jenkins-CLI.jar on your Windows machine. So when I say CLI, either it is from a third machine where the Jenkins is not installed. So this Jenkins is installed on this virtual machine. It's installed on this virtual machine. Okay, inside this virtual machine. But I can run the CLI from my Windows CLI commands. Okay, so that's how it is. Okay, you could run it even from on the machine from the where the Jenkins are installed. So if you want to run any command, this is fixed, and then you say run the commands as you need. That is how it is. Very importantly, manage nodes. Okay, here what has happened is, as I told you, there is a master and slave. The slave is currently not available. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the slave. Okay, I'm going to add a new slave. So adding a new slave is pretty straightforward. Okay, so I just need to create one more machine. So what you're going to do is, this is how you're going to clone. I'm going to update this machine as a template for you. You're going to download that. And once you come to the virtual box, you need to browse and make sure this is detected. Okay. You need to say file machine, add, and add this file which you're going to download from the Google Drive. Once you add it, don't use this, don't double click on this. Always right click, say clone, and create the virtual machine what you want. Don't use of the template itself, and always click reinitialize the MAC address of all the network cards. Okay, so you're not supposed to use the same thing. So I'm going to create a slave here. If you see this slave, and I should have the same network settings. Okay, so I'm going to say this is part of the network settings here. So in your case here, you will always be on a bridge unless you are in office network. Since I'm in office network, I'm using this. We will talk about this little later when we are doing Dockers. We will understand a little more of VirtualBox when we are doing Dockers. Okay. So you are going to select bridge network for all the virtual machine which you create on your laptop. Okay. And I'm going to power it on. So this is an IP address which I've got. I just need to configure this on my Jenkins page. So I'm going to say add new node, say node name, give something slave 1, click on this permanent agent. Here, very importantly, here I need to give the working directory of the root on the slave. Okay, I'm going to say this. So don't ever give the root directory itself. Okay, create a directory, for example, work directory, and then give this directory here. Okay, so you're telling on the slave, this is where the master has to put things if at all it wants to. Okay, give the jobs, assign the jobs, put all the required files and all those things. Now the final thing is put the IP address of the node. Just to add the username password. I already have a username password. So how do I add it? See Jenkins, see add root. This is the username password of the slave. Okay, when I click add, I get something like this. I'm going to say that. Very importantly for your lab, under the host key verification, make it as non-verifying, since we don't have any certificates and verification method. We're going to make it as non-verifying verification strategy and save. This is going to take a minute before it says. The slave machine is just a plain simple virtual machine or a physical machine, whatever you want to do.